Released by Platinum Games in 2023 on the Nintendo Switch, Bayonetta Origins Cereza and the Lost Demon would be a spin-off prequel in the franchise tying in directly with Bayonetta 3. Directed by Abebe Tenari and written by Hideki Kamiya, the game would be an action-adventure to reintroduce the young Cereza as well as the demon Cheshire. The story only gets larger from here, so let's cut it down to size with a recapitation. As the game begins, we see the little girl Cereza, the result of the forbidden love between Umbran Witch and Lumen Sage, grow up as a pariah in her group. Though she loved to visit her imprisoned mother, when Cereza turned 10, her mother was to be moved to an even deeper cell and Cereza tried and failed to rescue her. Years pass as a jaded Cereza is now 15 and trains under an exiled witch who lives on the outskirts of town, Morgana. Morgana's magic training is strict, but Cereza is determined to build the strength she needs to one day save her mother. Her only ally in the village is her friend Jean, as she would also hold on to the plush cat named Cheshire she got from her mother. Frequently, Cereza has nightmares about the witches in her village or her mother, but now the dreams begin to change. Suddenly, a young boy in white appears, saying she can find the power to save her mother by following a white wolf in Avalon Forest. Concerned, Morgana warns her that Avalon Forest is home to fairies that love to trick and whisk away children as she continues to guide her clumsy apprentice on the foundations of Umbran magic. A special full moon night arrives when Cereza would have to perform her first summon, as Morgana gives her a tool to help her control her magic, and though she would succeed in summoning a demon hound, a frightened Cereza is too slow to bind it to a medium like her hair, causing it to die immediately. Dejected, she later confides in Cheshire, but somehow she hears the boy's voice again, but not in her dreams. Determined to take a chance and claim this promise of power, Cereza enters Avalon Forest, soon gaining the feeling that something is watching her. From the underbrush, a fairy would jump out, ready to ensnare her soul and feed on her vitality, and desperately, Cereza tries summoning something to protect her. Answering her call, a beast with a wide-toothy maw appears and defeats the fairies, but instead of dying immediately in this world, it inhabits her Cheshire plush as a medium. Cereza finds she understands the demon as it asks to be sent back to Inferno, but the apprentice witch has no idea how to do that. Infuriated, it lashes out at Cereza, but finds it is literally unable to touch her, as the girl promises to send it back once she learns how. Unwilling to wait, the demon leaves on its own, batting aside pesky fairies in its way, but soon finds the further it strays from Cereza, the quicker it loses strength and energy. Forced to stay by Cereza's side by the spell, the demon agrees to help find the white wolf she seeks, as Cereza decides to name the demon Cheshire. The reluctant companions soon learn to work together to delve deeper into the forest, spotting the white wolf and following it without question through bizarre distortions of reality and deadly rifts. They break open a pod holding an illusion of the boy from Cereza's dream as he asks her to destroy 4 elemental cores and returns them to the forest. Illusions obscuring the path are lifted, but Cereza is soon confronted by an image projected from her master Morgana, who is relieved to find the girl while upset at her venture. All the same, she wants Cereza to return safely, but tells her leaving Avalon Forest is not so simple, as the forest is a magic labyrinth meant to trap all who enter. The ancient magic is too strong for her to break right now, so Morgana says she will continue to support Cereza and look into ways to escape. On her own, Cereza continues to practice her magic and grow Cheshire, growing less timid as they work together in fights against the nefarious fairies. The White Wolf leads them to their first core, and after breaking it, wildwood magic washes over Cereza, greatly empowering her with new magical abilities. Continuing their journey to the next core, Cereza spots the souls of children who died in the forest, now wandering wisps. While helping the souls tortured by the fairies, when she rests, Cereza now enjoys her dreams as chances to see the boy again as she takes down the ringmaster of a circus built to lure lost children to their doom. Gaining slightly more confidence in herself, Cereza and Cheshire break the stone orb, absorbing its power for themselves as they see someone has been taking notice of their actions. Cereza is soon met by Ignis, a wisp that claims to be the keeper of the forest, as he appreciates the girl's rescue of the wisps and tells her the next elemental core is at the bottom of a lake. Ignis tells her to climb the tallest tree in order to drain the lake, and facing her fear of both heights and inability to swim, Cereza starts her climb only to be confronted by a fearsome fairy dragon, the Jabberwock. Unable to overcome this foe, the two are easily defeated, and crippling fear once again overtakes Cereza as she flees. The young witch anxiously makes it to the water shrine as she finds dozens of large broken cages, wondering what they are for. Unfortunately, the Jabberwock finds them again, as Cheshire finds himself again unable to even dent the dragon, and seeing him in trouble, Cereza finds the courage within herself to stop running and save Cheshire this time. Her binding magic manages to create openings to shatter the dragon's armor, forcing it away as Cheshire begrudgingly acknowledges how helpful Cereza was. Bolstered by the belief they can win now, Cereza pursues the dragon, who is actually guarding the water orb as the duo combine their might to win the fight, caging and destroying the monster. Breaking the water orb, Cereza and Cheshire power up again as they come into contact with Morgana, who is surprised to see Cereza's growth magically and mentally in such a short time, which is the closest thing to a compliment the young witch has ever heard. Morgana continues that she has begun a spell to free Cereza, but it will take until dawn to complete, urging her to stay safe, and teaches her more spells to draw out the power of her demon familiar. Later, the little boy's image appears in another dream to share praise of Cereza's victory, introducing himself as Lucaon and revealing he is trapped in the heart of the forest by a powerful curse. He admits it's true, he is helping her to help free himself, but he also sympathizes with her deep desire to save her mother, sharing he seeks to find his mother outside the forest as well. Lucaon promises to help save Cereza's mother once freed, and Cereza readily agrees, smitten with the boy and wishing to know more about him as he returns the feelings. Waking up with a new crush on Lucaon, Cereza updates Cheshire, who is not happy to follow the whims of a love-struck child, reminding her he is doing this in order to go home. With one last core remaining, Cereza learns from Ignis it resides in a fairy fortress where no one has returned alive from. Along the way, Cereza is shocked to see her mother calling her away, but Cheshire isn't fooled, shattering the illusion before it leads the witch off a cliff, though the death scream of the shade still haunts the young girl. Illusion or not, Cereza is mad at Cheshire for the violence against something resembling her mother, starting an argument of clashing egos that results in them both parting ways. Indignantly infiltrating the fiery fairy fortress on her own, Cereza witnesses Cheshire on his own taken down by guards and captured. The White Wolf appears to help Cereza work her way inside as she spots the figure in charge speak Enochian to Cheshire, offering to send it to Inferno in exchange for giving up Cereza. However, the demon refuses to comply, and Cereza leaps in to rescue him after the wolf leads most of the fairies away. Reunited, they take out the fairies, but Cheshire stumbles from deep tears in his body, leaking out his magic life force. Moving quickly, Cereza recalls her training how magic flows through a witch's hair, cutting off some of her hair and using restoration magic to mend Cheshire and save his life while the two make up with a hug. They are halted by a boastful fairy calling itself Grand King Puka, warning them not to release the cursed child. Displaying his power, Puka surprises them by being able to call down an angel, commanding it to attack the pair as Cereza uses her growing magic to turn Puka's torture device against himself, defeating him in a climactic finish. Puka gets away as the two claim the power of the fire orb he wielded, breaking the last seal they needed to free Lucaon. Following the White Wolf to him, they pass by Ignis, who thanks Cereza for freeing Avalon Forest from the fairies that have corrupted it for so long. Not long after, Puka confronts the duo again and again offers Cheshire a chance to return home and abandon Cereza, opening a portal to Inferno as proof. Tempted for a moment, Cheshire refuses the offer the moment Puka raises a hand against Cereza, but in response, Puka casts magic to turn the demon berserk. Despite his frenzy, Cheshire fights the spell, and Cereza helps to calm him down as together their bond and trust in each other breaks Puka's enchantment. Arriving at the altar of the Fairy King, they find Lucaon's real body trapped in crystal, pale and lifeless, as Lucaon's voice tells Cereza it is only a shell. Surprised, they find the source of the voice to be none other than the White Wolf, as he explains his soul has been separated and now resides in this wolf. Lucaon elaborates that he was sealed because of his blood, being the child of a human and fairy, and wished to live in harmony with humans and so was cursed for it. In fact, he is the last fairy prince, son to the true Fairy King and his human queen. However, a faction of evil fairies would overthrow and kill the king and banish the queen. Unable to kill Lucaon, the fairies sealed him, though Lucaon's mother saved his spirit in time and he has wandered in search of a witch's magic to help him ever since. He reveals the reason he needs a witch specifically is because the key to breaking the curse is to sacrifice her demon and allow him to absorb its power. Shocked to hear this, Cereza refuses, declaring Cheshire as her friend, but Lucaon is stunned, reminding her that demons feast on human souls, and for centuries, witches only use them as tools and weapons. Cereza still refuses to betray Cheshire, but not hearing it, Lucaon begins to absorb Cheshire's life force anyway, ascending into a more powerful fairy wolf form. The young witch follows him into a rift, heartbroken by Lucaon's actions, and disrupts the ritual, sapping Cheshire of all his energy, desperately trying to escape with her partner. Turning the tides, they team up to take back all the stolen elements as Cereza helps Cheshire unleash his full demonic power, overwhelming and defeating the cursed fairy prince. As Lucaon falls, he is saved by Cheshire, shocked a demon would bother as his sorrow and anger leave him, and he shares he cannot hold this form any longer. To Cheshire, Lucaon admits not all demons are heartless, and in fact, he was the heartless one just now, apologizing for his deeds. At this time, they see Morgana's spell take effect, breaking the entrapping spell, and Cereza thinks her master can save Lucaon before it's too late, but Puka arrives, refusing to let them leave so easily. Wishing to claim Lucaon's royal power for himself, Puka was the one to betray the former king and ruin Lucaon's life and family. Grabbing them both, Cheshire sprints for the forest's edge, chased by a swarm of fairies, making it out just in time as Morgana covers their escape, crushing Puka easily once and for all. Kneeling down by Lucaon, Morgana's normally stern and cold expression changes to a loving and warm one as she suddenly casts a harsh glare towards Cereza and blames her for what she did to the boy. As it turns out, Morgana trains Cereza to summon a demon purely for the purpose of one day saving Lucaon, revealing herself to be the banished former queen and Lucaon's mother. Cereza was just the latest of dozens of witches she trained and lured into the forest as sacrifices, and none succeeded so well as Cereza. Refusing to let a childish sentiment of friendship get in the way of saving her son's life, Morgana encroaches upon the duo as Cheshire tries to flee with Cereza, knowing they are no match. The young witch despairs that there is no way she can fight and win against Morgana, and understanding, Cheshire thanks Cereza for the journey they shared together as it comes to an end. Touched by his words and remembering why she embarked on this adventure to begin with, a new power awakens within Cereza as she activates Witch Time for the first time, finding the courage to stand up with Cheshire with firm resolve. Battling against her master's contracted spider demon, the young witch turns Morgana's own attacks against her, forcing Morgana to unleash the forbidden magic of Demon Masquerade, fusing with her familiar. With her powerful potential and full fairy magic, Cheshire and Cereza shatter Morgana's Umbran Watch and the demon reaps the soul from her body. Dying, Lucaon says the pair did the right thing by stopping his distressed mother, glad to have met them both, and thanks Cereza for being his friend. Lucaon then hugs his mother's soul, thanking her for her love, as his soul fades away and Morgana's is claimed by Inferno, as is the fate of all Umbran witches. Incidentally, this is exactly the sort of doorway to Inferno Cheshire was looking for, as he hesitates until Cereza encourages him to go home and rest. Cheerfully, she promises she'll get strong enough to summon him anytime, saying farewell for now, and Cheshire says he expects nothing less, taking his leave. As the sun rises on a new day, Cereza picks up her now normal cat plush, no longer has nightmares about her mother, and packs her bag to head off into a new adventure. However, from the far reaches of the multiverse, at the end of Bayonetta 3, the defeated villain Singularity cheats death and goes back in time to kill Cereza before she grows up to become the Bayonetta that defeats him. Tracing her memories of the fairies, the bioweapon is brought back in time to an earlier point and interrupts Cereza's adventure with Cheshire. He quickly separates the two as Cereza finds herself in an unfamiliar illusion before Singularity petrifies her. However, this is felt by Cereza's friend Jean, who for years has also looked over her friend and rival from afar and decides to take action. Though she too is a witch in training, Jean uses a risky soul projection spell and flies to Avalon Forest, spotting Cheshire stuck in a strange rift. Though surprised the stuffed cat is now a demon, especially one summoned by Cereza, Jean helps free Cheshire in exchange for helping to find her, but the demon is not so quick to trust this deal. However, desperate to find Cereza too, he accepts and Jean transfers his soul to a stuffed cat of her own and calls him Charles. A strange voice warns Jean not to interfere, saying it has seen Jean die already as the source reveals itself to be Singularity. He says he is here for Arch-Eve Origin, beckoning to a frozen Cereza, but Jean and Cheshire both refuse to allow anything to happen to her. Together, they beat the weak Inspector, but he binds both of them and shows Jean a glimpse of her future and how she will die if things do not change. However, Jean refuses to acknowledge it, breaking free and declaring her future is to be the strongest Umbran witch. Singularity begins to disintegrate Cheshire as Jean's cries reach Cereza, and the young witch's left eye of the world activates, breaking the spell and overwhelming Singularity with its own reality-altering power. Together, Jean, Cheshire, and Cereza overpower and destroy Singularity, unknowingly finishing a fight that is hundreds of years in the making. As the bioweapon is destroyed for good, his illusionary world begins to collapse as Cereza has fallen asleep for now, and Jean's soul projection begins to wear out. As the game ends, Jean offers to return Cheshire home to Inferno, but he refuses, preferring to be returned to Cereza's tattered doll instead. Shrugging, Jean takes her leave, telling the demon to swear to keep this event secret as she keeps in mind the grim fate in her future, promising to be ready for it. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon would continue into and end with Cereza's adventure in Bayonetta 3.